Now, let's see how smart y'all are. Like, you see, I'm not saying this. I'm just proposing the questions to show the people that the world knows this, or at least the intelligent ones like Shard and a few others in here know this, right? So you got Sergeant Reynolds or Lieutenant Reggie Wright Sr., and you got former cop Reggie Wright Jr., Keefe D, Orlando Anderson, Edie Falls, and possibly David Kenner, right? All in the room together, giving Orlando money to testify in Suge's hearing, right? Now, my next question to y'all, let's see how smart y'all are for this next one, right? And remember, we're going to send some of these questions and we're going to call Las Vegas, or y'all can call Las Vegas Review or the Las Vegas Sun and propose these questions to them when I'm done, right? What is it called when someone pays a witness money? Let's see how smart y'all really are. My fellow Americans, you got it. Right? Okay. D Dot, I'm gonna give you first, even though you didn't put witness tampering. But my fellow Americans, you put the correct term, witness tampering, right? We got Jiminy, witness tampering. We got tampering, tampering, tampering with a witness, right? Bribery, we looking for witness tampering, right? We got tampering, all right? I'm not going to really say bribery too much, which could be another form of it, right? But tampering is what we're looking for, right? Now, let's keep this up for a second, right? Now, how does the district attorney get around these facts that law enforcement was involved in this Tupac Shakur case, right? Now, how long has it been since the police knew that Reggie Rice Sr., Sergeant Reynolds, was a part of the payoff of Orlando Anderson? Was it 5 years? Was it 10 years? Was it 15 years? How long Orlando's been dead? Rest in peace. How many years has it been since the world, even us in the YouTube universe, knew that Reynolds and Senior were there when money was exchanged for witness tampering? Right? It's been a long time, right? It's been years since they all knew, because we all knew, because they did all these interviews stating that fact, and nobody in law enforcement did anything about it. And it's a fact that law enforcement was involved. They was there. So if law enforcement, because Reggie's father was active law enforcement, Reynolds was active law enforcement. At the time that Reggie is sitting there, whether you want to call it bribery or if you want to call it witness tampering, it's still illegal, right? So if we all know this, you don't think law enforcement knew this and nobody got in trouble for it? Nobody got charged for it? And then y'all asked the question, was law enforcement involved in Tupac's case? Um, Let me ask that question again. Was law enforcement involved in Tupac's case? If Reynolds and Senior was there and they on duty at the time as officers, and they sat there and watched money be exchanged with witness tampering or bribery, if you want to call it that, right? And nobody got in trouble for that. Do you think law enforcement was involved in the Tupac case? Hold on. Let's not forget that when the Compton PD was undercover and they watched Reggie and his father pull up in a red Lexus with a suit with a briefcase, and they went into Keith D's body shop with the suitcase and came without it. Reggie's Senior was still law enforcement at the time, right? So whether it was dealings before Tupac got killed or after Tupac got killed and they was dealing with Suge's parole hearing, right? Was law enforcement involved in either case? Okay. Now, like I said, how long this interview been out? How long did law enforcement know about this? 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. It doesn't matter because we all know it's a fact, right? So you can assume that the authorities were there when the witness was purchased. If you want to say that, if because I mean they did give him $60,000, right? Right? Wait, Keefe D, who's now the murder suspect for Tupac Shakur, and Orlando Anderson, who they say is the one that killed Tupac, right? Isn't Reggie and his father the one that's saying that Orlando killed Tupac? But they were there present giving Orlando money to testify against Suge or testify for Suge. They the ones that saying that they killed Tupac, right? But his Reggie and his father, who's active law enforcement, along with Reynolds at the time, are all present with the people that they say killed Tupac, giving them money. And your question is, was law enforcement involved in Tupac's case? Talk to me, y'all. So let me ask y'all a question. Was law enforcement involved in Tupac case? Now, thank you. Now, why wasn't none of these people ever indicted for witness tampering? Anyone? Why was why was it none of these officers never charged when the witness testimony is being purchased? Then the theory that the law enforcement officers have been involved has been verified, right? Thank you, my fellow Americans. Now, you also have Reggie and his daddy, who was active duty at the time prior to Tupac's death, seen going into Keefy D's body shop with a briefcase and leaving without one. To only be found guilty later for what? Drug trafficking and money laundering, right? And they were convicted for that, right? Now, if you're a person on Keefy D's grand jury, I mean on Keefy D's jury right now, right? Say you get subpoenaed to be on Keefy D's jury in this upcoming trial in August, right? And you find out that the grand jury testimony came from a convicted criminal who was a former law enforcement and a law enforcement officer who also was convicted, who was his daddy, right? Now, if you find out and you a jury and you find out the person that led this grand jury, which is Reggie Wright Jr., right? If that he was convicted of selling dope, drug trafficking, money laundering, witness tampering, with law enforcement standing right there, whether it's Senior or Reynolds, when the transaction went down. And this information has been known to law enforcement and is public knowledge to all of us, and nothing happened to them. Then what does that say about the prosecution in Vegas? Because if we know it, they know it. And this is the guy that led your grand jury. Then that means allegedly that law enforcement has been involved in this case since the beginning. Left or right? If we know this, and like I said, I asked y'all the questions. I didn't put it in your head. Y'all put the answers on the screen. If I ask y'all these questions and y'all know the answers, and we all know that Reggie and his father been convicted of money laundering. Reggie's been convicted of drug trafficking, right? A former cop selling dope, right? Money laundering, drug trafficking, witness tampering, but he led the grand jury to get Keefe D indicted. You think that the prosecutors in Vegas don't know this? That's when you hit up Las Vegas Sun in the Journal and you ask them these questions. How the hell is this crooked cop, former cop, who was witness tampering with his father standing there, who was active duty with Reynolds active duty, doing witness tampering, paying a witness? The same guy and his dad got convicted for money laundering. The same guy got convicted of drug trafficking. A former cop selling dope, but he's leading the grand jury. Now, I know some of you YouTubers are dumber than Vlad because he's the most gullible person on YouTube to me, who can have two people who were law enforcement officers who are both convicted criminals, father and son. Not only is these two involved in transactions with people who allegedly killed Tupac, but they also are convicted of money laundering, selling dope, drug trafficking. But we know Vlad is a dumb culo because he got these dudes on YouTube like they are reliable sources. So this dude, Pork Butt, he could go up on Vlad. He could go to the grand jury. I bribe witnesses. I sell dope. As a former cop, I bribe witnesses. I sell dope. I launder money. But you could trust me that I wouldn't kill a person. Yo, Vlad is so gullible to bring Reggie and his pops on his channel, right? These niggas who bribe witnesses or do witness tampering. These are dudes that sell dope, right? Launder money. State to state, federally convicted guys. And we supposed to believe that they wouldn't allegedly kill someone? Man, you got the nerve, man, to be telling me that these are credible people to go up on Vlad, right? And Vlad sits here and he co-signs them, he gives them jobs, he gives them podcasts, right? These convicted witness money laundering, witness tampering, drug smuggling. Hey, remember, his father was still active when he goes with Reggie to drop off the suitcase. His father is present and active law enforcement when he's paying off the witness that they say killed Tupac. Ain't this a bitch? They the ones that say that these dudes killed Tupac. But they doing doing witness tampering and giving them money. They showing up to their goddamn body shop with a briefcase. And y'all question is, was law enforcement involved in this case? I think you answering your own goddamn questions.